So welcome to using Revit MEP IES to produce Part L calcs. This is really an answer to a lot of questions I get about how to use Revit to output to IES and Part L calcs for the UK. So I'm taking my simple model, very simple office building, and what I've done is, beforehand obviously, split it up into spaces and zones. The standard training methodology just gives me a couple of options of how I'll go about doing calcs from now on. Look in the system browser, you can view the zones and spaces in there to see how they sort out in their hierarchy. So a couple of options I have now. The first option is to use the built-in heating and cooling loads calc, and using the viewer there you can just check your spaces are all there. As you know, you can't have any gaps in spaces. All spaces need to be filled with actual spaces. My other option is to export out to GBXML, and from there I can send out to IES, TAS, all those kinds of software programs. What we're going to do in this session today though is look at the IES link within Revit to do that calc directly from Revit itself. So if I go to the add-ins tab, once you've downloaded the IES link, you can see you get these IES buttons here. So the first thing I do is import the model, which basically does an IES check of the rooms I've created, or the spaces I've created, and that will show me any kind of errors that are not-expected. And if I just pan down this list here, you'll see in yellow there's some issues I just need to have a look at maybe. Some of those I know about, some of those are actual errors. It just gives you a quick check, just make sure you're going down the right track before you go and do the full calc. And just for completeness, I always just save this. That's it, so save that, close that down. And if we now go into the virtual environment itself, it'll give you a quick warning to say I haven't saved the model recently, so just accept that, or save your model and move on. Flipping into IES model, again you can check your spaces. IES only shows you the spaces because that's all it's interested in. Spaces literally create the geometry within IES. Just go into the settings here. We can just make sure everything's set up as it should be. So the report generator, you can set your building address, your office address, also your company details as well, anything like that. So just go through that, just do that as it is. I'll leave this as defaults for now. Again, just setting up room types, building types, all the standard IES things that IES is very good at. And now you can see we've got the CO2 emissions Part L compliance calc. Just click on that button there, it'll start while I do the calc. So this takes maybe, I don't know, 2 minutes, 3 minutes for this size building. You'll see it flash up and just start running through the calc. I've just skipped a few seconds, and you can see down the bottom of the screen now I've got my no saying I haven't passed the test, so I need to do some more work on my building, which is hardly surprising. And just checking the calcs there, it'll give you a breakdown of what isn't accepted and what is, and you can see in red there, these are my issues I need to fix. Everything else looks pretty much okay. Close that down. This saves as a PDF, by the way, so you can keep that separately. And just look at the summary, just to give you some idea of what's actually going on within that calc. This will give you some indications of, sort of broad brush values and things. Gives you a good idea of what's going on in your building. Thanks very much.